Fine, I'll start it.
No, I think they just want cats.
We'll give 3 more minutes of Blackberry. It's so adorable. Oh. Yeah, I should even fix a board. We could just watch Blackberry all day. All right, fine. We'll start the stream. Give me a minute. Let's see, camera 1. Hello. Hello, everyone. Today I'll be fixing a logic board live on stream. It's a pretty interesting one. Never actually done something like this before, so if I mess up, it's not on me. It's not something I really do. Okay, so we have a M1 MacBook Pro. Actually, I gotta show you the housing that it came in. I'll give you some context on what's going on here. So I did the estimate on it, told them what it needed, you know. And as you can see, when I get this back together real quick. Microscope cam. Okay, so it suffered a liquid damage spill. Now we looked at the board already, but didn't look too bad. There's just one area, so you see, like, again, liquid damage. It looks fine on the left side. Everything looks nice, pristine. It's usually just one drop of liquid is what kills your device most of the time. So right here would be our troubling area. We have a burnt pin on our fan. Yeah, so our fan is completely charred. I don't even know if this trace is salvageable. I think it's toast, in my opinion. The connector itself, also pretty bad. I'll be replacing that. The chip, I'll be replacing the chip too because probably is fine, probably isn't. Can't really tell. I don't really want to, you know, take a 50-50 on it. And it was damaged, so, you know, the best course of action is to replace it. Worst part here is when I was unscrewing the board, you have to unplug the power button. And when I did so, we come here. This is the connector of the power button. And the power button is still on there. So I could get this out. I don't even think I could get this out because the connector came with it. Oh, no, okay, no, everything. Yeah, so here's what remains of their power button. Completely, utterly destroyed. So that's what I wanted to tackle today because, you know, you can replace the power button, but then you lose Touch ID functionality. I have their power button right here. Again, the connector practically like disintegrated off the board. I was able to clean it up. Some of the pads are still there, some aren't. We'll see if that's even, you know, salvageable. It'll be interesting to find out. Hopefully they maintain Touch ID functionality, but this isn't really looking too good of a repair. You know, it's not something straightforward that we can do. So yeah, I'm gonna get started on it. We're gonna take our board out. And we'll save the power button for later. I'm gonna just start on the board right now. Whoosh. All right, get back to our area that we're gonna work on. Alright, first thing I want to do is I want to clean that area, see if anything falls off of the board. And now I gotta look for a brush. Alright, brush acquired. Get some alcohol. Let's see what we can do. Alright, so this trace is... it's pretty dark over here. Can I get this brighter in any way? Hey, Paul. Did I miss something? Ah, the auto brightness. There we go. I knew I was missing something. There we go. Alright, so yeah. Thank you, Paul. You can see this trace right here is no longer... all the solders have been eaten away and all you can see is the bare copper. So we're going to have to, at the minimum, remove the chip. We could probably reuse it. I don't see any like damages to it. I thought it was burnt at first, but it's probably just whatever liquid this was. Maybe coffee or something chocolatey. It's pretty, discolored. This resistor looks fine. If you nudge it and... oh, never mind. It moved. So yeah, if I were to break this off, you can see the solder right here is just all powdery. I didn't even show you. Sorry. So we have all powdered soldered joints, so... it should have been replaced. Just gonna clean it up, expose the pads, so fresh solder would go onto it just fine. I might remove this chip. I might replace it, actually, as well. Connector, you might say it's good because you can see all the pins are on there, but it is melted from the liquid damage, causing the fan to blow up, and I think part of the fan is still in here. Maybe this is one of its pins. Maybe if I cut this open, you can probably see it. Yeah, the pin is actually still on the board. That's funny. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to be replacing that area. See what happens when we go from there. So I want to be careful with how I heat this board, because if I were to blow hot air in this direction, we'll be blowing it towards the CPU and the heatsink. And if I were to blow it in this direction, I'll be melting this connector right here. So the best course of action is to melt it, to use the hot air in this direction, like this. So I'm just going to do just that. And I forgot about the fume extractor. Let's get that on real quick. Okay. Now we can start. Alright, and as I mentioned previously, you can see that pad no longer has any solder on it. It has its bare copper exposed, so if I were to just clean that area, then, obviously it wouldn't work after I get this turning on again. Also, this cap just came off as well. Its pad is no longer there. I'm just gonna scratch it up, expose everything. Alright, looked like it cleaned up pretty nicely. All the traces are still there. You don't have to run any jumpers. You see everything's still connected. So, I shouldn't have any trouble applying new solder onto this. So we're going to tin our iron real quick, because this station hasn't been used in God knows how long. Alright. Oh, there's a giant solder ball I just left on here. That's funny. Oop, let's pick that up. Okay, so start off with this chip. Get some fresh new solder on these pads. Alright, now that we have fresh solder on all these, I'm going to just touch up these corners real quick. Let's get some flux in here. Make these look like new. All right. I'm going to grab our donor board. Does it have everything we need? Yes, it does. Okay, so I'm going to start off with removing the connector from this board, because if I were to heat up the components, I'd melt the connector. So let's start off with that. Now the best way to remove a connector without melting it is to heat it from the underside, which I can show with the overhead cam. Maybe I cannot. Alright, so say our connector's here, right here. So I'm gonna apply hot air from underneath the board like this. And I'm gonna melt it from the side. Clearly you can't see it, but maybe, does my microscope reach? Does not reach. I'm sorry guys, you're gonna have to just take my word for this one. Kinda off camera, I can't really move the camera. Right? No, I can't. Come on. Oh, you... Variable zoom, yes, that exists. I didn't have lunch today, Paul, I'm sorry. Alright, so we're heating from here. Everyone thank Paul for being my stream assistant. You know, sometimes things don't click in my head. So now the board melted, chip came right off, I mean connector. You know, be careful, it's still smoking hot. Put that to the side for now. And back to what we were doing. So we have this area we're gonna work on again. Right. I'm just going to transfer all the stuff I removed from the old board to the new board. That's one. Now I don't have to worry about it being soldered in place perfectly. I just wanted the as soon as the solder melts, it'll take the component, and then after it melts again, it will flow right into place. I think I need a smaller pair of tweezers for this job. This is a very tiny area we're working with here. I don't have much room to maneuver. There we go. So solder melts, cap's held in place, I can move it. Solder's melted, I can remove it. And finally, melted, I can remove it. And now we can just flow them into place. See how they just move right into where they're supposed to be? And for this chip, I'll press down, just make sure all points are being contacted, like that. I'm just gonna quickly clean up the edges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6. That's good, that's good. Peachy. Alright, now I'm gonna put our connector on. Now for this you want a flat surface for it to lay down. So we're gonna have to wick the old solder. Want this area cleaned up nicely. With these corners as well. Want it as flat as possible. Alright, I'm gonna grab the connector that we snatched from the old board. There's a hair raising it, okay. Or maybe it's this pin right here isn't flat. Okay, let's try that. It might be a cat hair. You know, there's a good abundance of cat hairs in this store. Okay. This is probably an Oreo hair. You can tell by it's white. And it's practically glued onto my connector. Alright, we're going to line this up just like so. Now I'm going to solder the ground pins first, that way it's anchored onto the board and we don't have to worry about it moving around too much. So get some flux on these corners. Grab our iron. Move it into place one more time because I keep moving it. There we go. Slightly adjust it. That's one. Adjust it a little bit more. That's perfect. And we solder anchor point number 2. And as I'm soldering this, I'm pushing down just to make sure that it's flat. That way it's not really raised up when we solder these pins. I'm going to have to rotate the board because it is a very small area that I'm working on. So I don't want to really, I don't have any clearance from these 2 caps that are blocking my, entryways right here and here. So I think I got to work on it like this. So I get another dab of flux right there. And I'm going to try to come in at some awkward angle. Alright, so we solder pin number 1. I think this might be ground because it's a little different. Yeah, it is ground. You can see this giant square is what I'm soldering onto. It's going to take a while for the solder to heat up, and the board would want to take it just like that. Alright, I'm going to try pin 2. It's going to be slightly easier because these are probably data pins. And I bridged. Oopsie. Not the worst thing. It's easily fixable. Just gotta wick off that area. And just like that. Fixed. Alright, and adjust it afterward. Try to move the pins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all secured. So, we got that out of the way. Everything looks good here. We'll run this by the UC to clean off the excess flux. Because there's flux inside the connector. If we were to put the new fan in, sometimes the flux is going to cover the pins, so you can't really, it won't make a solid connection to the fan. And now we have to grab, let's see if we can fix our power button. So that's the next thing I wanted to fix on this board. The thing was, when I had this machine, the power button was working. So it's weird that after I unplugged it, it like fell apart on me. It's adhered to the bag, so I'm having a little trouble getting it out, but there we go. This is what we're going to be working on for the rest of the stream. Let's see what we got. So I might have to run 2 jumpers for these 2 pins right here. And maybe 1 for this. But I'm gonna get a new connector and see how it, how it goes on the board or on this cable. So I'm just gonna grab a randomly salvaged MacBook. This will be our donor for today. Now it is a 1706 logic board, but I think the connectors are the same. Hello. Thank you so much. Who did it? Who? James? Yeah, JP. Thank you. Thank you. Please. Please, 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 please. I didn't eat all day. I didn't have lunch yet.
Well, no, I was gonna put it.
No.
No.
No. Give me. Krispy Kreme. The creme de creme. Here. I'll get to these later. I'll kill them. Thank you so much. One of the best perks. Oh. It's really beautiful. Alright. Now this board is gonna work. It's my mission. Alright, so overhead. I'm gonna get to this power button. We're gonna try to just salvage it. Now this logic board is dead, so this power button isn't as... It probably is a working power button. You can't just buy a power button cable somewhere. Or there's such a niche thing that we don't really need to buy them. We could just... Again, having your power button cable just break off. I've never seen that. But, you see something new every day, So... Let me see if I can get to that. I'm gonna need both connectors, because... Actually... Yes, I'm heating this in the housing. This is a dead board after all. It doesn't really matter, even though I'm probably destroying some parts. It's all for the greater good. Okay, we got that connector. I'll save for later because that's the second part of this repair. Now the real part is this one. So because this is not on a logic board, it's on a very thin cable. You gotta be very careful with the heat. It's gonna get hot really fast. And I'm gonna need to tape it down because the air coming from my hot air will just, launch it into another dimension. So I'm gonna look for some Captain Tape. We got some right here. I guess we hold it down here. Or maybe something like this. Alright, and I'm going to apply heat from afar because I don't want it to melt. Otherwise we're going to have to do this again. Alright, starting to melt. 3, 2, 1, there we go. Thank you, cable. You've served your duty. In the e-waste pile you go. Now those are just ground pins, so I don't think they're truly needed. Maybe. Hopefully. What can I do? Are they ground pins? Ah, I can't check the schematic, can I? There's something pins. So I can't check the schematic because oh, wrong one. You know, it's not part of the logic board. You know, I only have the schematic for the logic board. So unfortunately, can't do that, but I can try. Let's see. I guess a 1990 would like fit the same bill. All right, so one side is power, one side is ground. So I guess I'm gonna need those pins. I'm pretty sure the ones that are rotted should be the ones for power because ground doesn't really have power running through it. Yeah. I might have to run those jumpers after all. Let's see. Back to our microscope. Yeah, you see there is a power line here and there. This might be really awkward to work on. But we'll manage. Alright. So we're gonna do the same thing. I need a flat surface to work on. I don't want this moving around on me too much. The fact that the power button is still connected to this makes it 10 times more difficult. Because we're no longer working on a flat surface. Alright, and then now we tape you down. Alright, so as you can see, because the power button's like that, I have to work on like this. There's a little raise right here, which is going to give me some trouble probably when I'm doing this. Alright. We're going to scrape some of this excess. So I want some nice clear copper. This actually needs some solder. Let's see. There we go. And we'll slowly inch it along until it stays to where I want it. Come on. Alright. That looks half decent. Just half, not full. Okay. So now if I were to actually, let's tin these pads too. Yeah, I guess that works. Just need to slide this down a little. Yeah, like that. Perfect. It's looking good. This looks promising. So we're going to see if we can get this pad soldered on. Like so. That's perfect. Okay. That was my one doubt, is that this pad was not salvageable, but it was. So now it's straightforward. You just gotta do this like any other connector. One, two, three, four. Beautiful. And then we'll connect this jumper to its pad. Just like so. And we'll connect you to your pad. And remove the excess. Alright, and same story for the rest of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm running out of solder. I gotta retin my iron. Alright. And then we can test this afterward with our tweezers. Give them a nice little nudge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is gonna move if I were to nudge it because it's not on a pad, it's on a jumper. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Looking good. I didn't think it'd be this successful. And now I gotta be careful not to rip the power button just by removing this tape. That'll be really, really funny. This tape is really on here. Oh, it's because this has its own adhesive and it's being adhered with the Captain tape as well, making it twice as strong, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to use this power button later on because, again, connections will be kind of faulty with this amount of flux on it. But we're going to put that aside and we work on the third thing that I didn't even think about. Oh, I have to remove his microphone. The original connector here. You know, if this is damaged beyond all repair, then I'll just straight up replace it. I don't think... Let's see, does this even look repairable? Remotely repairable? After we brush this out, we can see that our pads are still there. They are just completely grayed out. So I grab my knife and I could scrape at these for a bit. You can start to see that the pads come back to life. Okay, so yeah, looks like that's something I'm gonna see if I could fix. But first, I have to remove this because it is part of this cable that goes to, you know, whatever, the logic board, but it's also adhered right here because that's the microphone. So I'm going to be removing that right now. Or can I work on this on here? I think that'll be the better course of action. Yeah, I don't think I need a hot air or anything. Yeah, I'll just work on it in its case. I think that'll work. Here's a shot of his fan as I try to move the board around. Yeah, his fan I think is completely toast. There's no fixing that really. All the carbon that's left over, I think this is toast. Almost split his cable in half. You know, some things we can fix, but I mean, a fan is easily replaceable. You know, there's no need to do so. But if you are very, very budget hungry, I guess you can get away with fixing that, but, you know, we want this to last more than 2 weeks. Okay. So, this is the area we're going to work on right now. It still looks horrible. Just a truly awful experience. I need a better knife, actually. This X-Acto has gone beyond dull. Oh, he has 2 more. Ooh, this one's sharp. Alright, let me get more luck with this. Oh, like a knife through hot butter. Or no, hot knife through butter. Yeah. So we're just scraping away all the eroded crud. An iron can probably do the same thing, but it'll put some stress on it because you have to push down. And you don't really want to scrape with your iron. So I'm taking the edge off by doing it manually by hand. And then I'll come in here with an iron and get this all cleaned up. Alright, that's one side. Again, I'm not sure if this is ground or if this is some sort of power rail. I think it might be ground, since it runs through here. I'm not sure. Could always measure afterward. All right, looking good, looking good. All right, yeah, I guess it is a power rail because I thought that all this was connected. No, there's this one line right here. You can see through the masking. Yeah. All right. Not a big issue. All right, now we're just gonna add some fresh solder on here so we can get all these eroded pads covered in solder. So now they're clean. And now that these pads are clean, we can wick it flat for the new connector. And there goes most of its coating. Whoa. This is common when things are heavily liquid damaged. The top coat sometimes peels off. It depends on how bad it corroded it was, but you saw how damaged that was, so this is no surprise. Now, it doesn't really there's no cause for concern, but all these lines just look a little bit more exposed. Most of this is ground anyway, here and the center, so. I'm just gonna reach for my new connector. Ah. There's so much dirt on this. Okay, hold on. Let me give it a nice little wash real quick. Alright. All the cat hairs out of the way. shoe. All right. Right there. Oh. Wait. Am I missing something? One. This is really throwing me off. I don't know if there's a pad here and a pad here, or... There's no pad here, is there? Oh my god, there is a pad. No? Yes? No? Maybe? No, that's not a pad. No, there's nothing here. Okay. So we're gonna run it back. Okay, connector goes on like this. Like so. Yes. Okay. I'm just being trolled. And that's one of the things that the coding does. It can troll you. Okay. So, fresh solder. That really threw me off. Try to hold it in place. We got that one anchor. Solder this bottom half. Boop, boop. And you. Thank you very much. Oh. Connector came with it. Melting it a little bit. Okay, we're good. Solder this end piece. One, two, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm gonna need to move the board, have better access to the other 6 pins. Alright, another layer of flux. And here we go. One, 2, 3, and all of these are the same, so it doesn't really matter. I can bridge them all. Okay, and for good luck with this corner. Alright, looking good. Looking good. Now we clean up that area. Let's grab my brush and some alcohol. All right. So, I'm just gonna probably check if the power button works. Because there's not much I can really do without fully reassembling it, but fully reassembling it is gonna take a while. And I don't know if you guys want to stick around for that. But you do want to know if it works or not. I do. I sure do, at least. You know, my job depends on it, but other than that, let's see. I'll plug everything back in. Yeah. Okay, so only the essentials. I need this plugged in. Keyboard and trackpad are also just as good. And I think screen, and that should be about it. Hello. Alright, their power button in. Wait, this comes in like oop, right? Yeah. I think it's like this. It shouldn't be like that. Shoot. How does this go in? Like this, yes. So it comes around like that. So our power button should be on like this. I had it upside down. Alright, we're in. flip you up. Something fell out. I forgot to plug in the screen. You're not going to see anything, obviously. Okay. Screen on. Screen on. Let's try again. Boom. Bong. Hey, what happened? Okay. There we go. Alright, and I will secretly push the power button. Let's see if it turns off. Yeah, recovery screen. Alright, power button is pushed. 3, 2, 1, 0. It shut off. It worked. It worked. Yeah. And now I gotta test Touch ID, but that involves getting their password, finding out if we can connect our finger, and yada yada yada. That's for another day. Some other day. Board fixed. Now I'm gonna go. There still needs a lot more done to it. It needs to be cleaned. Those traces are all exposed. I gotta, coat them in conformal coating. And other than that, this board should be working. Also, yeah, the fan needs to be replaced. I forgot. That's something straightforward anyone can do. Other than that, board's fixed. Everything good. Looking good. It's another win in the book. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll be right back. Maybe, do I have Berry Cam on here? Can I go back to it? Cat. There's no cat. There's no cat. Paul, there's no cat. I know you can hear me from your desk. Yes, cat intermission.
But yeah, stop it.
Alright, thank you guys for tuning in. Well, we might do another stream later on. I want to go eat some lunch. Maybe Paul will stream. Enjoy the cat for the next 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Thank you all for the stream wishes. I should probably stream more. I gotta work on it. I didn't read chat all day, I'm sorry. Alright, take care everybody. Hope you all learned something. Goodbye.